If you're looking at the title of this video, you're probably wondering, how the heck does somebody get a free Ferrari? And more importantly, why would anyone in their right state of mind turn it down? So before I get started, I'm gonna let you know that I'm actually gonna show you how I got a free Ferrari by the end of this video. Now, everyone's got that dream purchase that when I become successful, when I become a multimillionaire, this is what I'm gonna buy. And for me, it's always been a Ferrari. Ever since I was a kid, I remember driving through San Francisco, and when you're going up through this street on Van Ness, on the corner, there's this exotic car dealership that they would have this Ferrari glistening on this pedestal that as I would drive by, I just felt like it was staring at me. Even at like 10 years old, I knew that one day I had to have that car. So fast forward to today, and I've been lucky enough that throughout my life, I've been able to own a lot of different exotic cars. Literally not too long ago, I went from having a Hollywood Hills mansion with 9 exotic cars in the garage. And for those of you that have followed my story, I made a lot of very, very poor financial decisions where that whole Hollywood high life came crashing down, and I ended up completely broke, losing everything, literally sharing this tiny 300 square foot studio apartment with a roommate where we had to literally swap between sleeping on the couch and sleeping on the floor because it was too small to fit 2 couches. And during that load, during sleeping on that couch, I had these massive breakthrough moments that helped lead me to be able to get to the position that I'm at today. So right now we're inside of my workspace. This is my office here in downtown LA. You can show it around. This is my office here in downtown LA. This is where I am about 14 hours of the day when I'm not sleeping or traveling. And so I went from sleeping on that couch to making 8 figures literally in less than 2 years. And it's because I had certain breakthroughs, I had certain mindset shifts that enabled me to be successful. So what was that mindset shift that took me from sleeping on this couch, completely broke and carless, to now running an 8-figure business within 2 years? Sign up to my mentorship program by clicking the link below. No, I'm just kidding. As soon as I started making money, again, I was very tempted to go back to those old patterns and just splurging on all these nice luxuries. I went so far to spec out exactly what I wanted on this Ferrari that was my dream car that I've been wanting to buy. I swear, as soon as you start making money, car salesmen and other salespeople can just smell it because you all of a sudden will start getting offers.
25 Impigers Highway. What? Impigers.
So I had this Ferrari car salesman that sold me my past cars start reaching out to me and sending me pictures, and I was so tempted to squeeze the trigger on this car, but I knew that if I was gonna change the way that this pattern, this cycle that I was stuck in of making more money, spending more money, losing it all, starting all over, the only way that I was gonna break that cycle is by having a mental switch, by having a mindset shift. This is what I call the millionaire mindset. So come over with me. This is what I'm gonna show you. So this income right here is however we make our living, whether you're flipping burgers at Burger King, or whether you're working in retail or working for a Fortune 500 company, or even running your own business, we all have income. So how do most people spend their income? Most people spend their income on expenses. As soon as they start making a little bit more, then their expenses go up. They start wearing a watch, they buy nicer shoes, they drive a nicer car, they rent a nicer place. Their income goes directly to expenses. All of us know people living this way. They're always scraping by just to pay their rent in time. So what I like to call this is P2P, paycheck to paycheck. But then some of us are a little bit better with our money. So what do? We save that money. So that money goes between our savings and our expenses. So this is more so how the middle class operates. Their money shifts between savings and expenses. But what do very, very successful people, what do the most successful people, the true rich, the ultra rich people, what do they do with their money? Instead of saving it or spending it, there's a third category, which is investing it. And the best part about investing it is as your investments start to make money, they generate more additional income that you can use to either invest, or you use the profit from your investments to be able to shift that towards expenses. So I can use the money that I make from the profits of my investment by investing in real estate, or investing in stock, or buying gold, or buying oil, or trading art, or whatever my investment is. I can use that to generate more income, which ultimately I can spend, I can save, or I can continue to invest. So I had this major breakthrough in realizing that the reason I was repeating this pattern over and over of making all this money and then going broke is because I was living paycheck to paycheck. And even when I was doing well and had some money in the savings, I still had the middle class mentality. But this mentality to be able to invest your income and spend what's left over after investing is what I call the millionaire mindset. And so I decided to embrace this before squeezing the trigger in making this purchase. So it dawned on me as I'm developing this new millionaire mindset, let me first see if Ferrari is even a publicly traded company. So I look up the stock ticker symbol is called RACE. And I looked at how it was doing over the past few years. So the stock actually came out in October of 2015 and started trading at $56. Look at this graph as to how much it's gone up ever since. So it started at $56, that's about 2.5 years ago, and today it's trading more than double that, almost triple that amount at $139. So the next step was for me to figure out how much this car was gonna cost me. So let's start with the lease payment. So this is a very rough and dirty, it doesn't include gas and depreciation. Just for simplicity, I wanted a ballpark. So let's say my lease payment on owning that Ferrari is $4,000 a month. I'm gonna end up owning it or leasing it for 36 months, let's say. So 3 years, I'm gonna have it, 36 months. What's $4,000 times 30 months? I'm gonna pay $144,000 just in lease payments. Then let's also say over the course of those 3 years, that registration was gonna cost me $2,500 and insurance was gonna cost me another $2,000. That gives me a grand total of $148,500, which is what it's gonna cost me to lease a Ferrari for 3 years. So now that I figured out that this Ferrari was gonna cost me $148,500 over the course of 3 years, my goal was to be able to make enough profit from the Ferrari stock where I literally didn't have to come out of pocket a single dollar. So how did I do that? Instead of transferring the $148,500 from my bank account to Ferrari, which would be an expense, and at the end of the 3 years, I would have nothing to show for it besides some awesome pictures, I decided to instead start investing in the stock. So here's the Ferrari stock that I own right here. And as you can see, I started investing in May 10th, 2017. So I've been at it for a little bit of time. When I started buying the shares, I started buying it at $84, and here's the adjusted cost. I started making purchases on May 10th, 520 shares, another 2,500 shares on May 15th. I basically put the exact cost of whatever the Ferrari was. Instead of buying it into the car, I started buying to the stock instead. Now, every one of these transactions, the 520 shares, the 2,500 shares, I was picking up shares between May and July of 2017. Here's the profit that's generated from those stocks. So I made $28,000 from my first purchase, $136,000 from my second purchase. My grand total that I've made from all the Ferrari stock that I've picked up to date is $217,500.81. So instead of blowing 150 grand on this Ferrari a year ago, I decided instead to invest that money into this stock, and now that stock has made me $217,000 profit. So that's how I got a free Ferrari. I used my money to purchase the stock instead of the car, and through the gains of that stock, I've been able to get a free car from that profit. So the next thing is, where's the Ferrari? Why don't I have the car? So here's the craziest thing. Once you get into this millionaire mindset, you'll look at your purchases entirely different, and you can literally use stocks the way that I have to get years of Netflix subscriptions for free, free Amazon purchases, free Adidas gear or Gucci gear, or even be able to buy cars. My next big goal is how can I leverage stock in order to get a jet for free? So that's the real ultimate freedom, is being able to get the stuff that you really want for free by simply adopting this millionaire mindset, by being smart with your money, using it for investments, and then using those payouts to buy things that you really want to buy. It just requires having a little bit of discipline of not having what you want right this second, instead being smart with that money, thinking long term, investing it in the right places, and in no time, you can turn your millionaire mindset into your millionaire reality.